All right, joining us today is one half of Team Tremendous, a man who some say may very well be the backbone of the team, a man whose beard makes little kids nervous, another hometown hero of ours. He is Detective Bill Carr. Bill, thanks for joining us, man. How's everything going?
Hey, everything's going good. Thanks for the compliments there, especially with the beard. I do think I have a fantastic beard, probably the best in wrestling. Independent wrestling, I'd say.
It's been a while. I think the last time we talked, I think Team Tremendous was maybe just taking off, or you guys were probably doing it for a few months or whatnot. Since then, you guys have become tag team champions of interspecies wrestling, CZW and NYWC. Both of you guys, I think, in fairness, in all due respect, you guys do not look like you can do half the moves that you guys do. And I'm not really trying to be disrespectful, but I'm just saying that you guys blow away people's expectations basically every match you guys have. How has it felt to be recognized as one of the top tag teams across the country? I mean, you guys have definitely been making names for yourself out there.
Well, I mean, it's definitely awesome. And what you said just now with people not knowing or not, like the things we could do are very unexpected, and I think that's part of the reason why we have gained a lot of success over the past few years. Because I'm a fat piece of crap. Dan is short and not in shape, and he's a little more athletic than I am, I must say. But I think we could. We usually bust out some fancy stuff from time to time, and I think that's why, part of the reason why we've become so successful. But I mean, since I last talked to you, I think it's been a while.
At least 2 years, probably, I'd say, yeah.
At least, yeah. I believe we were just starting out in ISW, and like you said. Since then, we've captured those ISW titles. I think we were 2-time NYWC Tag Team Champions and CZW Tag Team Champions. So, I mean, we've accomplished a decent amount. We've gone over to PWG and wrestled for them a few times. I mean, it's definitely been fun, and I think since the last time we spoke. I think we've definitely been on the rise, or not so much now, but between then and now, we've risen up.
Sure.
Now it's taken a little bit of a back burner. Due to real life, to take a step back.
Yeah, definitely. Now, why you're here, some news that maybe some fans over here in the Poughkeepsie area may not know. We're from Poughkeepsie, but we're still considered, the Hudson Valley area, if you will. But you will be returning to Northeast Wrestling on May 26th at the Icetime Sports Arena over in Newburgh, New York, your hometown. It'll be also, is Newburgh your hometown?
Yes. Right. Well, I mean, New Windsor, Newburgh. I always tell people Newburgh because they have no idea what New Windsor is. So Newburgh is my hometown.
So you're going to be returning there. It's also going to be your first singles match in quite some time, if I'm correct. With aside from Team Tremendous, but how are you feeling about that? And Northeast Wrestling coming over here on May 26th.
Well, I'm extremely excited to get the opportunity to wrestle for Northeast Wrestling again, especially in Newburgh. As for wrestling my first singles match in a few years, that makes me a little bit nervous because, since being in a tag team, I get to not really stay in shape as much as I normally would. So, that being said, I've had to hit the gym quite a bit lately just to get prepared for this singles match. But, going back to, Northeast Wrestling in Newburgh, it's always is a big moment for me, especially when, wrestling in Newburgh, because, I get the friends and the family and everything. And, you don't really get a lot of wrestling in Newburgh. Northeast Wrestling, I believe, is the only company that has ran Newburgh in the past few years, and, they put on some fantastic shows. They draw big buildings, big crowds rather, get top-notch talent. And I'm sure that this, they've produced every single time that they have ran in Newburgh, and I'm sure that this show definitely won't disappoint, especially when you got Cody Rhodes on the card, who's
definitely
completely tearing it up right now.
Yeah, and I like to call our area, it's almost like the capital of pro wrestling, I like to say sometimes, because just the area, being in the tri-state area, it's like the epicenter of, where all fans can meet up and go to all these shows. Yeah. And especially right in Newburgh too, it's right off 84, right off the major highway, so it's not that hard to get to. So it's definitely going to be great seeing you there on May 26th. But the past few years you've been on the indie scene. Has it ever been as hot as it is right now? I mean, I think just the indie scene for wrestling for you guys out there, it's just been incredible. Just for you speaking, a guy who's actually traveled the roads, been at these shows, what is it like for you? And have you seen like this little boom, if you will?
It's unbelievable, honestly. It feels like it's, when I first got into independent wrestling as a fan was probably back in like 2001, right when Ring of Honor had just started. And that's what it feels like right now. It feels like wrestling is finally, on that rise again. From like 2001 to 2005, I'd say, 2006 even, and maybe even 2007. Wrestling was on fire, especially at the indies. Everybody was fighting for something, and then kind of died down a little bit once, the WWE started hiring ex-football players, the bodybuilders and everything, and it was almost kind of like, okay, if this is what they're hiring, nobody has anything to fight for. Now, on the other hand, you see guys like, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Samoa Joe, all these guys getting opportunities. Chris Hero, who just got hired back. All these guys getting opportunities who don't fit the typical mold that the WWE has normally shown. So I think that's giving a lot of people hope and has lit a fire under the ass of every single independent wrestler in this country, and even the world for that matter. I think they're doing tryouts right now in Dubai for whatever reason.
Now, you brought up a great question too, and one of the shirts that I love too on ProWrestlingTees.com/Team Tremendous. I was once signed. Now, I don't want to bring any back up any dark page or anything, but for a guy that was signed with the WWE, especially the things that are happening right now, to where guys could be cherry picked anywhere, any place, anytime, kind of a thing for the WWE. How does that make you feel? How do you think that makes other wrestlers feel? Because, I mean, had that farm system where, from FCW to NXT, you had to go through their system and then work your way up. Then if they wanted you, you get pulled up to the main show. Now it's like, I mean, look at some of the guys now, anything could happen. James Ellsworth is my number one guy I like to bring up about this because, it's... we all know. I mean, he's definitely not somebody years ago or months ago that you'd ever expect to be picked and put on right at the top in like the main kind of a programming. But for you guys out there working these shows, I mean, especially like I said, you've been there, but you and then other guys included. What's the thought? Or the thought process or the mentality behind it to where, hey, it honestly doesn't really matter where you are right now in life in wrestling, to where they could pick you and use you at any time if they like what they see kind of mentality. And that's a really big step that WWE hasn't really done in quite some time. But I don't know, does it kind of make you guys out there feel a little bit better that, hey, anything could happen,
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think it goes both ways. I think people kind of look at it and like you said, like, oh, anything could happen, this could be my opportunity. And some other guys look at it like, how the hell is this guy here and I am not? But, it all comes down to them seeing something in you and seeing something in him. It's kind of like back in, 2005, Colin Delaney. It's almost the same exact thing. It's... They see this skinny guy who can't defend himself and he looks good getting the crap kicked out of him, and that's why he has a job right now. And they needed somebody for that position, and he was the one to fill it. And I believe that he probably is the perfect guy to fit that position because he looks terrible. And, it's a lot of guys will, like I said before, say, "Oh, why couldn't that be me?" It's because he was there, at the right time.
Sure.
Yeah. That's all it takes is you got to be there at the right time, because if you're not, you miss your opportunity. And he was there at the right time, and they saw something that they needed, so they picked up on it, and now he's making a good amount of money.
Sure. Yeah, definitely. It's one of those things. But also, too, I've seen a lot of things online. I've seen a lot of things with you and High Spots. I don't want to get too much into it, but maybe you can tell me what fans can expect to see, because, I will say I believe it's a shirtless Bill Carr with Dan Barry in his full, his special shirts, and somebody else. Can you tell us a little bit about what you're doing with High Spots and where the fans can see it?
Oh, yeah. Well, we just, over WrestleMania weekend, we filmed a few videos, which will be released soon, hopefully heavily edited, because there might have been a little drinking going on during then. But yes, we did some videos, and the one that you just pointed out was with the guitarist from Every Time I Die, Andy Williams, who's a good friend of ours, and he just... he's about a year now into the wrestling business, just learning the ropes and everything. But he's a big guy, and he's got a decent amount of potential. He really does, surprisingly. And he's an awesome person. And we were shirtless. I don't know why, but yeah, it should be good. You'll every video that we put out, I think everybody will enjoy. Some people will probably get offended by some of the things we say or do, but you know what? Whatever.
There you go.
It'll be funny in the end, I think. I hope. Fingers crossed.
Of course. Now, speaking of High Spots, even companies like FloSlam now streaming. Everybody's streaming stuff. Back in the day, we had to go out there and actually buy VHS tapes and see what's happening.
Yep.
Then it went to DVDs. Now you can watch it on your iPhone or your iPad or whatever. For independent companies. To where, okay, WWE has their network, but for independent companies being able to have pay-per-views now, to where back in the day, the old school pay-per-view, you had to pay $50 and you watch it on the box and that was it. Now it's like, hey, now you could stream this content out across the world and it's in the palm of your hands. How does that make you guys feel too, to where now, pretty much any company out there can really have their own pay-per-view, if you will, and now anybody can kind of see you guys. I mean, companies like FloSlam, High Spots is doing it. Do you think that's kind of something good, or definitely take off even better for a lot of these independent companies?
Oh, absolutely. I think that it's fantastic, and it's been a long time coming, and now finally that there's no excuse why. If you don't put in the effort, you shouldn't be, not blacklisted, but, not shown, not being able to show what you're able to do. Especially, you got all these independent companies now where you got YouTube, FloSlam, you got literally everything, just the internet in general. You got Wi-Fi, the internet in general. Mm-hmm. You can put anything out there now. So there's no reason for people to not see what you're doing. And I think with FloSlam, almost makes it, for independent wrestlers at least, it's kind of like making it to the WWE without making it to the WWE. You're being shown on a worldwide basis right now. So anybody in the world, if they have this subscription, can buy a pay-per-view and be able to watch you. And me personally, being on a show that I know is being filmed on FloSlam is, it gives me just a little, makes me a little happier, mm-hmm. That I'm able, that this company has enough, what's the word I'm looking for here? They like me enough, I guess. They like me enough and think, they think I do good enough to promote me on their shows that are shown, all over the world, that anybody can watch at the flip of a switch now.
Definitely. Now, we kind of mentioned this, but, Jinder Mahal, he's kind of hot right now. You had some experience working with Jinder. Any thoughts about this guy and how he's being used now?
Yeah, well, I mean, he is the hot topic right now. And I watched the replay of a few weeks ago with him knocking out a fresh, coming back from injury, Finn Balor in his first match back. Completely knocked him out. And the first thing that popped in my head was like, this doesn't surprise me, and because he's a great guy. He's a great worker. He's a great worker, but I think sometimes he gets a little overly excited, maybe at times, and gets a little too dangerous because he's given me, that I know of, at least 2 concussions from the same thing he gave to Finn Balor, elbows right to the face. And I remember his first match that he had on television. It was against Yoshitatsu. And I remember him getting back down to FCW when he was like, I think I screwed up. I knocked him out, and I knocked out like 3 of his teeth. I was like, Jesus Christ! Like, come on, man! Like, just pull back just a little bit. You know, you don't want to hurt anybody. But I mean, then this is the other thing too. Like what I said before, right place, right time. And right now, they're doing that new deal, new television deal in India. Mm-hmm. So this is the perfect time for him, And I wish him the best of luck. I hope he does great, but I just hope that he is a little safer in the ring.
But Bill, every time you're on, I feel like we always come up with a brand new shirt for you. I feel like we already got 2 shirts out of today, to where now we have like Jinder concussed me or something like that. We can put up a new shirt.
You know what? And I'm sure a lot of people would wear that, too. It's true.
Now, Bill, social media world, I mean, for the fans listening, where can the fans follow you guys, keep up with you, and, all that fun stuff?
You could follow me on Twitter and on Instagram at WWE Dutch. Why I haven't changed my name, I don't know. And you can follow Dan Barry on Twitter and Instagram at the Dan Barry.
Awesome.
And you can pretty much find out all of our information there, and all of the weird pictures I post, and all the drunken rants I go on from time to time on Twitter. It's a good time.
All right. Now, how about one last thing too? With any of the fans maybe sitting on the fence about coming out May 26th for Northeast Wrestling, can you tell them maybe just another reason why they should come out?
Well, I mean, you look at the card. You got Cody Rhodes, you got Booker T, you got Ryback going to be there. Me, of course. The Now, who are local guys as well, out of Poughkeepsie, who have finally, they've been getting the recognition that they deserve recently, and they're doing some big things now, and a lot of talent in Northeast Wrestling, and they're promoting a big dream match between Cody Rhodes and a mystery opponent right now for that show. So I think that should get some people to buy some tickets.
There you go. Well, Detective Bill Carr, thank you so much once again for joining us on this show. We really appreciate it.
Hey, anytime. Thanks for having me.
We're looking forward to the show on May 26th. We'll see you there.
Absolutely, my man.